Welcome once again here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. My name is Paul Condry. I'm the president and founder of Regional Radio Sports. We welcome you to the Tom Robbins Show. Tom, of course, the athletic director and women's basketball coach here at Holy Cross College at Notre Dame. Sitting to my immediate right is Tyler Brady, who does just about everything here on the Notre Dame campus. And Tyler Brady, assistant athletic director, sports information director, interim, I might point that out, but doing a wide variety of things. All I know is if I need something done here at Holy Cross College from my vantage point, I don't call Tom, I don't call Mike, I don't call Dr. Clark, I call Tyler Brady. And Tom, you have to have a guy who is your go-to guy, and not only as an administrator, but you have a guy who's not afraid of getting his hands dirty, and he's got a tremendous servant's heart. And I think the mission of this institution is about what Jesus did, and this guy's all about that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the glue, the nuts and bolts, however you want to say it. He's our guy. If he wasn't here, our athletic department wouldn't work. And I say that, and that is not a surprise to anybody in our department. It's widely recognized, and we had Robert Pastor on our show last month, and he recognized that within about a week of being in the position as well. It's tremendously needed, and we've got a great person in that position.
Tyler, let's go back to the beginning. What brought you here to Holy Cross College at Notre Dame? And I know you've got a young wife and family, so you're trying to juggle all those kind of dynamics. I understand that. Tom understands that you're a dad first, and you're trying to be able to provide the proper balance that you need for your family as well as everyone else. Just kind of give our listening and our viewers here today where you came from and what it's all about, man.
Yeah, so first off, I appreciate you guys all having me, and obviously the comments were well received. But first and foremost, I grew up in a small town in Northwest Ohio. Coaching family. My dad was a high school coach for 30 years in Ohio. He always told me no matter what you want to do, you can do anything, just don't go into coaching. So went undergrad, I played Division III ball. Went as an undergrad as a pre-dent major, had all intentions of going to dental school. Again, had just no intention of the coaching side or anything within athletics. Graduated from a small school called Bluffton University, like I said, and then attended Ohio State University as a graduate non-degree seeking student. Again, I'm a year removed from playing college basketball, and a coaching bug hit me, and it bit me. And so,
literally, from dental school to coaching, it took a bite out of you, right?
Yep. So, and it's funny. I was actually I was engaged at the time when I was at entering my second semester at Ohio State. Was coaching at a junior college there in Columbus, Ohio, called Columbus State Community College. Literally a week before my wife and I got married, I dropped dental school and wanted to become a coach. And now I'm in my 13th year. I had the privilege of moving all over the country. We spent, like I said, a year in Columbus, Ohio, then moved to southeast Tennessee to a school called Tusculum College, spent 2 years down there, and then knew I want to be a college coach. So the coach there, Coach Jones, said, first thing you need to do, the first thing, in the grand scheme of how a administration is going to hire a coach is you have to have your master's. Doesn't matter what it's in necessarily, you just need to get your master's. Hand wrote a letter to every Division I, Division II coach in the country. I'm your guy. I want to be your GA. Lo and behold, a school in Hawaii wrote me back saying, hey, this is Hawaii Pacific University, Coach Ford. Would you want to be a GA at Hawaii Pacific? I said, I don't know if I even have to ask my wife. She'll say yes. So we sold everything we owned, moved out to Hawaii, spent 2 years out there, got my master's out there, came back to the Midwest, coached at a school called Huntington University in the Crossroads, and then moved here to Holy Cross, and now currently in my 7th year here at Holy Cross.
Well, one thing different between you and Tom is Tom, of course, social worker, that type of scenario, but also jumped into the high school and worked his way up from Ancilla and into the situation. You went directly into doing college basketball, so you missed the high school stuff.
Correct, yes.
Do you ever have any second thoughts of, hey, maybe I want to go be a head coach at the high school level, or did you just feel God calling you to say, hey, listen, the 19 to 23 or 24-year-olds is where I'm called?
That I think funny. I've heard too many horror stories from my dad. Just being in high school athletics. Now again, the good far outweighs the bad. in high school athletics, but it just got to a point where he was just like, it's just not worth it right now. He said the one thing in college athletics, you recruit the kids you want on your team. So recruiting them not only to be, talented individuals, but Tom and I can talk to this. We spend a lot of time with our student athletes. I don't want to recruit that knucklehead, right? I want to have a good quality individual that I see from when they come in as a freshman to 4 years now, graduating their senior year, who this individual has become. So I think, that 18 to 22-year-old range is a great picture, I guess, of where you can mold an individual to do the next things in their life.
Well, it's interesting that you talk about that, because every coach that you work for, I'm sure, had a different style, had a different mindset. He tried to set a different culture. And you come to one of the most unique places here at Holy Cross College at Notre Dame, and working for a guy who's a Bob Knight disciple and Mike McBride, who's disciplined and development of young men is really second to none, in my opinion. I think that Mike's one of the top coaches. I've said that for years. He gets the maximum out of his student athletes. So let's talk about that before we get into some questions from Tom, because I'm curious on balancing all your personal life, balancing all your administrative duties, and then balancing the demands, because Mike is a demanding guy, not only from his coaching staff, but also from his student athletes and anybody who's involved in the program. And there is nothing wrong with that, because he strives to seek excellence in everything that he does.
Yeah, on that, I see Coach McBride a lot with what my dad's values were.
Sure.
It was just the thing where here's the task, get it done, move to the next. There's no time to just, it's too hard. I have too much stuff going on. I have too much of this. I mean, there is none of that. It's just get it done, move on to the next. My dad was no military thing, nothing. I mean, it was just that's how he was raised. That's how I was raised. And to a degree, that's how Coach and I kind of value our program here. Is just you do the next thing. You don't spend time in the thought process of why, who, what. Just get it done, complete the task, move on to the next thing.
Tom, I know you've got some questions for Tyler. Yeah, you manage a lot of different things here. Officially manage events, game days. Our awards banquet is a big part of that as well at the end of the year. But then with the changes that we've had in the department, you've had to take on some of the sports information role, as an interim situation, oversee Notre Dame parking days for football situations, in which our college makes some money. So balancing all those different things and being the nuts and bolts of the department as you are, how do you balance those things with your personal life, with being a father? How do you balance those things to keep proper perspective and keep your sanity?
Sure. No, you really have to. You value your time. Kind of talking about Paul's last question. Completing task 1, moving to task 2. But then the balance aspect of it, when I get home, when I call it a day, I'm here from X to X. My day is done. Now it's family. There's nothing else on my mind. I'm not thinking about, did we not set the right down screen? Did I not do the right thing with game? It's none of that. It's family. Sundays are a big thing with us. We spend a Sunday where it's just us. There's no phones, there's no TVs. It's me, my wife, and the kids. And it's just a valuable tool that we've used since we've had kids. This just instills, again, that family atmosphere in our household. So
you were the full-time sports information director.
Correct.
Now this year you've taken on that interim role as this staff continues to grow, and it's kind of a fluid situation. And there's a lot of demands on sports information directors. If you have a perfect example across the street at Notre Dame, we've got one of our former teammates over there who's working in sports information, and she concentrates on 2 sports. And yet you're in charge of all the sports here at this institution. Talk about balancing, making sure that men's basketball doesn't get all the love, because you've got soccer, you've got tennis, and you want to make sure that women's basketball teams get some love, because the obvious thing is everything there is to know about men's basketball. So you've got to be able to provide proper administrative balance and make sure that all the teams are getting the same type of love, right?
Yep. No, and it comes back to, it's your job. You can't. There's no favorites when you're in an administrative role. So just knowing the kind of like Tom referenced, that the nuts and bolts of everything going on in the athletics department. Every student athlete here, tennis, golf, soccer, basketball, know me by name. I know them by name. That goes a long way. So hey, Kamoy, how'd that game go last night? Well, that having that personal connection with them, speaks to the volume of how you view that individual. Just that aspect, and then again the SID part of it, just being able to again balance all the 8 sports, but having the time and organizational structure to be able to complete them. I've done it now for 7 years, so I have it down where Monday I know what I'm doing at 8 a.m. when I walk to the door, to Friday after 5 I know what I'm doing for my next week. So just having that organizational skills to be able to set the week up.
Game day management is an absolute nightmare. Everybody here at this table has been in game day management in some capacity, whether it's working with the broadcast teams or making sure that there's plenty of things for the officials as they're coming in, the visiting team, making sure you greet them properly, making sure that they have all their wants, needs, and desires, from making sure that, hey, listen, this is the best place to pick up a pizza after the game. You have so many different things, and there's so many balls in the air, and we're just talking about one game. And then more often than not, there are a lot of double headers here.
Yep.
So it's not like you can just show up for one game and manage one game. You have to make sure that all the people, you have a shot clock operator, you have to have someone on the scorebook, someone on the scoreboard. You got to make sure you got someone to make sure they're cleaning the floor. There are so many things that you have to make sure that you have all those I's dotted and T's crossed. Kind of speak to the managing of that, as well as the fact that you also have to be the number one voice to the head men's basketball coach who's also playing during that game day event.
Yep. No, sure. That's a great question. I guess to speak to that, having the great leadership and structure moving forward with that. But then, I have some great support staff. Joey Yanto is an intern here within the athletics department. He's done outstanding work within the sports information world, and also kind of dabbling with some of the game day management. He's not a recent grad. He's a current undergrad student at IU down in Bloomington. He'll be graduating this winter, so his career ambition is to work in small college athletics. Well, I said, Joey, here at Holy Cross, you won't just get a small snippet of what working in athletics. You'll get the broad spectrum of it. So he's been outstanding for us. And then, like with Tom, we've had some great leadership with him. Actually, JT, our PA announcer at our home games, was actually found by Charlie Adams, one of Grace Adams' father on the women's basketball team. So it's just kind of the resources, connections, and then just connecting dot A to B, making that call, and then getting things done, moving on to the next thing.
Tom?
Yeah, Tyler, how has now about a year ago you were promoted into that position, previous being full-time sports information director. How has sports information directing in that position prepared you for the one that you're in now with the event management?
Oh, sure. The time organization, being a structured individual, like I said, within the SID world, I knew what from Monday at 8 till Friday at 5, I knew what my day would look like. In the game day management, I spent early August making these calls, getting everything planned out for the fall season, the winter season, and then coming up into the spring season, mapping everything out. Where is so and so supposed to be on December 13th? Where is so and so supposed to be on X, Y, and Z? Having everything mapped out ahead of time, because in the heat of battle, things will happen. It's just human nature. Something will falter. So now you have to be thoroughly prepared to be able to handle that and have everything set beforehand.
Tom, I want to throw this question to you. From your perspective as the head coach, and as the interim athletic director role that you find yourself in right now, having the faith and trust to have someone like Tyler that hey, say, Tyler, can you take care of this for me? That you don't have to go back and look over your shoulder to make sure that project or that task was done and done in a professional manner. How much a relief is that for you to be able to do your job efficiently and effectively?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a release. It's the implied pressure of things that need to get done, and you're not sure if they're going to get done, is more so a stress than what you actually have to do. So when you can release something to someone else and know that it's going to fully get taken care of, that allows you to then put your time and your focus into the job that you're currently doing. So, and that's why Tyler's continually found himself in positions to do several things around here by all the individuals. Where we're talking about our soccer program or the administration and that sort of thing. Everybody knows if they give Tyler a job that they can then be released from it, which allows them to do their job. And I don't think that I fully appreciated that until I became the interim athletic director. As a coach, I don't think I fully appreciated that. But you see how many people, as you're trying to lead a department, how many people don't do that? How many people you still have to worry about the job, which even if it's very minimal things, they pile on and become very stressful. You still have to worry about the job getting done because you're not sure that individual is going to do it.
One of the things that just pops into my mind here, Tyler, is making sure that when a press release goes out or whatever the case may be with social media, there are so many components that you have to be able to get involved in those things. But also has to have a positive message that is Christ-like, that is going to also fit into the communication of the institution on a broad-based basis. So can you speak to making sure that, hey, number one, is this something that is going to edify what we're doing here? Is it going to glorify God in what we're trying to do here? So kind of speak to managing press releases, managing your website, managing social media, because there's a wide variety of moving parts right there with that.
Oh, absolutely. No. And to that, like you said, glorifying God, like that, without that God, there is no Tyler Brady. There is no Holy Cross College. So I guess everything that you do, from the write-up to managing the website to anything with game day, if you don't have God in that forefront, there is no next thing. And so just having that realization and appreciation and understanding that in everything that you do, God is there, I think that it'll just click that, yes, this is how I do things. I'm here. I'm put on earth to do it. I'm here to glorify God in the process. I'm going to do it to my best of my abilities, all the while, again, glorifying God above.
Do you remotely on game day, when the men's basketball team is playing, and Coach Mike McBride is making sure that I need your complete attention on what is happening on this floor from the time we walk out of the pregame sit down with the student athletes in our room next door to the time that the game is over, that you have 100% your attention on your job as assistant men's basketball coach, and you're not worried about what's happening at the broadcast table or what's going on with the concessions people or what's going on with anything else. So how are you able to focus to make sure that you have your responsibility as the assistant men's basketball coach is 100% dedicated to Mike and his players?
No, how I view my coaching is exactly how I view any of my administrative roles here. Is you have to be thoroughly prepared. And so game day, game night, I am prepared. I have all the pieces set up, and I have I have a great support staff with Joey Yanto, with all of my table workers. So I have faith in them that they will do the job right. Yes, like I said, do hiccups happen? Absolutely. But we have been, very, blessed here to have a great support staff, to have all those pieces nailed down if X, Y, and Z happens. But again, then being able to, once it is game time, kind of flipping that switch. Okay, now those tasks are done. Now it's action. So,
Tom, when you look at this moving forward, having Tyler in such a pivotal role, I mean, he's brought in to be, kind of part of the mouthpiece that you have when you can't be in the building. So not only does he have to be able to speak well with recruits, but have to deal with parents. Deal with those wackos that are at the broadcast table wearing the headsets, Tanner Camp and Paul County, those kind of people. But there are so many things that you look at that he has, hey, I'm going to go have Tyler talk to you about this. So how do you feel from your vantage point as the AD, interim AD, as well as a women's head coach, to be able to say, I'm going to introduce you to our sports information director. Somebody's coming from Oklahoma. They want to make sure that the parents can be able to watch from Oklahoma. They can be able to keep an eye on some of the things, and some of the things that falls under Tyler's job is going to be pertained. So can you speak to how you want the potential future student athlete to know about Tyler Brady?
Yeah, the best thing I can say about Tyler is when he was the full-time just sports information director, he was getting asked all the time to help with game day management and events and that sort of thing. And what Tyler is, and I really promoted the idea of him moving into that role full time, because what he is a great host. He's just a great host. He makes people feel comfortable in his presence while he's also crossing the T's and dotting the I's. So to meet him, and for recruits to meet him, and for families to meet him, and then be in our events and see him operate in the way he does, it just brings a spirit to our place. It brings what everybody talks about, culture, in that environment, with just his presence. So, I've been one since I took the interim position to promote Tyler's name amongst administration, to say, hey, we're underutilizing this guy. At one point, sports information was kind of behind the computer, putting up, some highlights and that sort of thing. But we need to get this guy out there. Like, this is a star that we have in our system. And we need to utilize that more. And since that has grown, since his position has grown, and as busy as that is for him, we try to get him out of some other things. Since he's been in that position, our department and our culture in our department amongst the community and amongst families coming in and within the college community here has really benefited.
Taylor, I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but there in the Bible it talks about the spiritual gifts. Jesus talks about the spiritual gifts of hospitality, and that is one, obviously, that if you can recognize that you have that spiritual gift of hospitality that you have. And I would say that without question from our vantage point, from Tanner and I broadcast games here in our team. We love coming here because we always know that we're going to be greeted by a smiling face, going to be someone who's going to say, hey, listen, what can I do for you? What can I help you with? And I can tell you when I come up here to broadcast games that there's a calming presence about yourself. So good for you, and I'm thankful that you're here.
Thank
from
you.
From my chair at the broadcast table.
Thank you.
Tom, you got anything else you'd like to visit with, and some things coming up on here on the horizon?
Yeah, well, we're full swing for our basketball season. We're getting close to the halfway point. Our students will be doing finals here next week as well, and then the college community will be going home for Christmas, but the basketball teams will still have some work to do. So, we're really looking forward to how basketball season looks between both teams into the second part of the year, and getting really excited for that. And then the next big thing, and this is always something for Tyler, is that awards banquet and putting the capstone on our school year for all the teams.
All right, that's going to do it for the Tom Robbins Show. Glad you've been able to stop along here for edition number 5. For Coach Tom Robbins, for Coach Tyler Brady, special thanks to Tanner Camp for his production here on today's broadcast. And for all of us at the Regional Radio Sports Network, I'm Paul Condry. God bless you all. Hope you have a great Christmas, everyone.